Every year, over 30 million people set sail on cruise ships, consuming an estimated 500 million meals at sea. But have you ever wondered what happens to the mountains of uneaten lobster tails, discarded bread rolls, and half-finished desserts left behind after the buffet closes? The answer is far stranger and more technologically advanced than you might imagine. Leftovers don't just get tossed away. They're crushed, liquefied, transformed, tracked, and in some cases reused in ways that sound more like engineering experiments than kitchen cleanup. Let's uncover what really happens to the food you leave behind. These are 13 cruise ship leftover secrets passengers never see. The fish food reality. When cruise ships travel far enough offshore, uneaten food doesn't go to landfills. It can be legally discharged into the ocean. Under the MARPOL Convention, ships may release food waste once they are at least 12 nautical miles from land and moving at cruising speed to aid dispersion. Before disposal, leftovers such as meat, bread, and vegetables are ground into particles smaller than 25 millimeters and released into the ship's wake. Cruise operators argue this organic matter re-enters the marine food chain, and studies confirm fish and crustaceans do consume it. However, scale is the concern. A single large cruise ship can generate over 30,000 pounds of food waste per week, and with 30+ million passengers cruising globally each year, repeated discharges along busy routes may unnaturally concentrate nutrients, alter fish behavior, and disrupt delicate marine ecosystems over time. Metallic stomachs. Deep inside modern cruise ships, waste is handled using technology inspired by one of nature's oldest systems: digestion. Industrial biodigesters, often called giant metallic stomachs, use living bacteria and engineered microorganisms to break food waste down into an eco-friendly liquid slurry. These sealed steel chambers can process several tons of organic waste per day, reducing solid food waste by 70 to 90% through biological decomposition instead of grinding alone. To increase efficiency, some ships add peach pits, whose rough surfaces help bacteria attach, multiply, and form dense microbial colonies capable of digesting everything from vegetables to meat proteins. Temperature and pH are tightly controlled to keep microbes active 24/7. Once processed, the slurry meets international maritime discharge standards, allowing safer release at sea while significantly lowering environmental impact, provided the system is constantly monitored to keep the microbial ecosystem stable. Microwave power. The newest generation of cruise ships has moved beyond basic waste digestion into advanced microwave-assisted pyrolysis, a system that feels closer to science fiction. Ships like Icon of the Seas use powerful microwave energy to heat organic waste in oxygen-free chambers at temperatures above 900 degrees Fahrenheit, 500 degrees Celsius. At this extreme heat, food waste doesn't decompose, it breaks down at a molecular level, producing synthesis gas, or syngas. Syngas, a combustible mix of hydrogen and carbon monoxide, can be reused on board to generate heat and supplemental electricity. On megaships carrying 7,000+ passengers, this allows several tons of food waste per day to be partially converted into usable energy for water parks, climate systems, and auxiliary operations. The result is reduced fuel consumption, lower emissions, and less waste discharged at sea, though installation costs can reach millions of dollars, limiting the technology to only the newest, largest vessels. Leftovers as biofuel and dehydration machinery. Before food waste can be discharged or reused, many cruise ships first shrink it using industrial dehydration systems. These commercial machines remove up to 90% of moisture, compressing leftovers into dry, coffee ground-like pellets. Fruit peels, vegetables, bread, and even small bones are transformed into a uniform, shelf-stable material that no longer resembles food. The pellets are then handled in two main ways: stored for offloading at specialized ports, or burned on board in high-temperature incinerators. Because the waste is dry, it burns far more efficiently, producing up to 80% less ash than untreated organic waste, which makes disposal safer and easier. While dehydration uses energy, cruise operators report net environmental benefits, including reduced storage space, fewer waste offloads, and lower fuel demand, helping ships move closer to carbon-neutral waste management. Charity bans. It feels deeply wasteful. Cruise ships prepare tons of edible food while hunger exists just miles away in many ports. Yet most cruise lines are legally blocked from donating buffet food due to strict international health regulations. Once food leaves a controlled kitchen and sits on a buffet line, it enters a legal gray zone where liability outweighs redistribution. The primary fear is foodborne illness. If donated food caused harm, cruise companies could face lawsuits across multiple jurisdictions, especially since a single voyage may visit 5 to 10 countries with different safety laws. Globally, improper food handling causes an estimated 600 million illnesses and 420,000 deaths each year, making regulators extremely cautious. Buffet settings worsen the risk through shared utensils, temperature changes, and cross-contamination. Add the cost of refrigeration, transport, and verified charities at dozens of ports, and the paradox becomes clear. Abundance and need coexist, but laws keep them apart. The clean food exception. While most buffet food can't be donated, cruise ships operate under a key exception: food that never reaches passengers. This includes unopened ingredients, sealed packaged items, and fully prepared meals from events that were canceled before service. Because this food never enters public dining areas, it remains eligible for donation under U.S. and international food safety regulations. Typical donations include boxed produce, vacuum-sealed meats, dairy near expiration, and entire trays of prepared meals. The process requires a strict chain of custody, tracking food from supplier to ship to charity. Major cruise lines now partner with groups like Food Rescue US and port-based food banks, diverting hundreds to thousands of pounds per port call. While it's a small fraction of total waste, it proves large-scale food recovery at sea is possible. AI surveillance. The newest frontier in cruise ship waste management isn't hidden in trash rooms. It's happening live inside dining venues through AI-powered monitoring. Advanced systems track what guests order, how much is eaten, and what returns untouched, feeding data into proprietary AI platforms that detect patterns humans miss. If a seafood entree is left half-eaten across multiple voyages, the system flags it for portion cuts or recipe changes. If a dessert spikes waste during peak periods like Sunday brunch, algorithms recommend reducing output or removing it entirely. Computer vision analyzes returned plates, identifying food types and whether items were barely sampled. Some ships even use buffet sensors to monitor idle time. Cruise lines report these tools reduce food waste by 20 to 30%, shifting waste management from cleanup to prevention before cooking begins. The 4-hour rule. Time is food's greatest enemy on cruise ship buffets, which is why the 4-hour rule is enforced with zero flexibility. The second a dish is placed on the buffet, a strict countdown starts. After 4 hours, it must be removed and discarded, no matter how fresh it looks, how well it was heated, or whether anyone touched it. There are no exceptions. The rule exists to prevent bacterial growth in the food danger zone, between 40 degrees Fahrenheit and 140 degrees Fahrenheit, where bacteria like Salmonella can double every 20 minutes. Even with chafing dishes and refrigeration, inspectors factor in lid openings, guest handling, and temperature swings. On mega ships serving 5,000 to 7,000 meals daily, cruise lines follow the strictest safety standards. The result is massive waste, but crew members agree. Passenger safety always comes first. Crew mess myths. A common myth suggests cruise ship crew members eat leftover passenger food, but this is completely false. Modern cruise lines enforce strict zero-tolerance policies, and crew members caught consuming guest food can face immediate termination. This rule isn't about hierarchy, it's about health regulations, food safety, and inventory control. Passenger meals are legally classified as guest inventory and cannot be redistributed, even if unopened. Crew members eat in separate mess halls with different menus, suppliers, and tracking systems. Meals are planned to support 12 to 14-hour workdays, often providing 3 scheduled meals daily for thousands of crew members from dozens of countries. Allowing access to passenger food would create contamination risks, cost manipulation, and overproduction incentives. While some cosmetic food waste exists, official crew consumption of passenger leftovers does not occur on modern cruise ships. Scales in the scullery. Behind cruise ship kitchens, uneaten food isn't guessed at. It's measured, logged, and analyzed. Modern cruise lines employ food waste officers who weigh leftovers after every meal and record them by venue, time, and even specific menu items. This data shows clear patterns. Some chicken dishes create 15 to 20% more waste than beef. Certain breakfast pastries are left uneaten up to 40% of the time. And appetizers in main dining rooms are wasted at nearly twice the rate of those in specialty restaurants. Rough seas can also cut passenger appetite by around 10%. These insights directly shape portion sizes, menu design, and supply orders, saving millions of dollars per ship over its lifespan. By turning leftovers into data, cruise ships transform waste into a precision-driven sustainability system. Used cooking oil. Cruise ships consume thousands of gallons of cooking oil every single day, and none of it is dumped at sea. Instead, oil from fryers, grills, and kitchens is captured through sealed collection systems and stored in dedicated onboard tanks, many capable of holding several thousand gallons and kept completely separate from other waste streams. When ships dock, specialized tanker trucks connect directly to these tanks and pump the oil out safely. That used oil is then recycled into biodiesel, a renewable fuel used to power buses, generators, and municipal fleets. In regions like the Caribbean and Mediterranean, cruise ships supply millions of gallons annually to recycling programs. The system is both environmental and profitable. Some cruise lines are paid for their used oil, preventing pollution while converting waste into clean energy. Landfill-free goals. Major cruise corporations have announced ambitious landfill-free goals, aiming to eliminate traditional dump disposal through advanced technology and large-scale recycling systems. Central to these plans are gasification units, which process non-recyclable waste at temperatures above 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, reducing volume by up to 95% and leaving sterile ash. Unlike simple incineration, gasification operates in low oxygen environments, breaking waste into synthesis gas, often reused for onboard energy, and mineral-rich ash that can be repurposed in concrete or road materials. Achieving landfill-free status requires precise sorting. Organics to biodigesters, metals to recycling streams, glass to crushers, plastics to compactors, and only residual waste to gasification. These systems demand multi-million-dollar infrastructure investments, currently found mainly on next-generation ships and major port facilities. As disposal fees rise and environmental regulations tighten, cruise lines increasingly see landfill-free operations as an economic necessity, not just a sustainability promise. Briquette presses, compression machinery. Packaging waste on cruise ships can match or even exceed the volume of food brought on board. Cardboard boxes, plastic wrap, aluminum cans, and glass containers accumulate rapidly once supplies are unpacked. To manage this, cruise ships use industrial briquette presses that compress loose packaging into dense, uniform blocks, dramatically reducing storage demands. These hydraulic machines apply extreme pressure to form briquettes roughly 12 by 12 inches and up to 18 inches long. Entire dumpsters of cardboard can be reduced into a single block, cutting waste volume by as much as 90%. Even lightweight plastics are compacted so tightly they can sink in water. Briquetting also lowers emissions by reducing waste transport frequency, fuel consumption, and port handling time, making disposal far more efficient. So the next time you're staring out at the open ocean from a cruise deck, remember, what happens behind those kitchen doors is far more controlled, regulated, and surprising than most passengers ever imagine. And if you think that myth just got debunked, wait until you see what else people still get completely wrong. Click on Travel Myths. Americans still believe in 2026 and what actually works. And prepare to question everything you thought you knew about traveling smart. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and step into the hidden side of the world with Oddly Abroad.